In this video, I'm going to be covering 3 easy ways that you can grow your email subscriber base to 1,000 people or more. I'm assuming that you already have an email newsletter where you already have an audience and you're already creating content for that audience. Hey, my name is Burhan. Welcome to the channel. And on this channel, I talk about business, I talk about online marketing, and I talk about all the different ways that you can actually grow your audience and be able to help you sell your products. So let's get into the 3 ways that you can actually grow your email newsletter subscribers. One of the first ways to actually grow your email list is from your website. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about ConvertKit and the fact that they have a landing page builder, and ActiveCampaign has one as well, and most of the email providers actually have a landing page builder, but your own website is going to serve you far better than any other place. There are a couple of different ways that you can do this. One of the places that I recommend on your website to actually have email subscribers is on your blog. You're going to have a space where you actually have a form with the headline and the subtitle where people can subscribe to your newsletter. The other place that you can have on your website is on your homepage. So maybe you have a bar at the top where people can actually enter their email address and hit the button, or somewhere in the hero section if that's what you want to feature on your homepage, or somewhere along the website on the homepage you actually have a section where people can subscribe to your newsletter. That's the first way to do it, and that's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. All the pages are going to have the same content. You're going to have the same headline, the same subtitle. Another thing I suggest you do on your website is to actually have a dedicated newsletter page. So maybe something like /newsletter, and you have your headline, your title, and you have a form where people can subscribe, maybe an image, and maybe you actually detail the page a little bit so that you can explain in a little bit more detail what people are going to get from your newsletter. Another way to actually grow your email subscriber base is to have your profiles on social media connect to that newsletter page. And so one of the places that I recommend is your Twitter bio, your LinkedIn bio, your TikTok bio. Those places are pretty interesting because when somebody comes over to your profile, they see what you're about, and if you have a link to go over to your newsletter page, then that gives them a place that they can go check out a little bit more content. So another thing that I recommend you do is to actually pin a post on your profiles. So for example, on Facebook, you can do a pinned post. Twitter can be a pinned tweet. And so those places actually give you a little bit more room, a little bit more space to give context to what your newsletter is about. And if people are coming over to your profile, that's the first post they see. And so then they may be enticed to actually visit your newsletter page to subscribe. The other thing you can do with your bios is you can use something like Luma, lu.ma, or Linktree, or any of these type of services that gives you a page that you don't actually have to build yourself. You just add in the links that you want people to see. One of those links can be your newsletter page. Some of these tools actually have a newsletter subscription box as well. But if you've got your newsletter page ready, then you can send people directly. Now, the third way to actually grow your email newsletter list is to actually promote it. Now, I'm not saying you have to be salesy. I'm not saying you have to be like pushy, but there are a couple of opportunities that you get when maybe you're on a podcast and maybe you're the guest, and at the end of the podcast, usually the host will ask you if there's any place that you want people to go to. And so if you have a newsletter page, you can very easily tell them to go over to your newsletter page. For example, burhanpatel.com/newsletter is where my page is. So if you want to subscribe to the newsletter, I definitely encourage you and welcome you to come check that page out. Other things that you can do to actually promote your newsletter, and you need to get permission from your audience for this, is if you are promoting a webinar, or you're promoting some sort of a live event, or you've got some sort of a promotion going on. Maybe you have a lead magnet. As part of that form, when they're signing up for those things, you can get them to check a box that says, hey, subscribe to the newsletter. And that's an easy way to get consent. Give them the value that they came for, maybe for the lead magnet or the webinar, and by virtue of the fact that they're signing up for that event, you can ask them permission to also sign them up to the newsletter. So you're killing effectively 2 birds with 1 stone. That's a good way to already incorporate your newsletter into existing campaigns that you have going on. And speaking of campaigns, one of the other ways that you can use to grow email newsletter subscribers is to use paid ads. Now, many people are not okay with paid ads, many people are, but it's a quick way to actually, 1, test your headline and test your audience, and 2, be able to drive traffic to that page to actually see what is converting. And so paid ads through Facebook or Pinterest or Google might actually help you to gauge how interested people are to subscribe to your newsletter. And if you want to get your subscriber base like growing really quickly, and if you have the budget, of course, paid ads are a great way to actually, one, test your newsletter content and also get a lot of subscribers fairly quickly. Now, if you found that interesting and you need to figure out how to actually manage your lists and, once people are subscribed and how to segment people, check out this video on this side where I cover how to organize your list. I talk about ActiveCampaign, but it applies to almost every single thing. So check that video out and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.